breaking news.
Our breaking news this morning, all eyes on the Camp Fire burning in the area of Feather River. Action News Now reporter Haley Watts is on the ground in Paradise, where this morning a number of evacuation orders have gone out affecting residents in that area. Haley, what do we know?
Julia, unfortunately, this wind is picking up, and as you can see, this fire is continuing to spread rapidly. This is Butte Creek Canyon. There's two big spots. We're seeing flames right here, like a hot spot over here to the western edge of the canyon, and then heading east. Take a look at these flames. I mean, just 15 minutes ago when we got here, the air was a lot clearer. Now it's thick with smoke. Right now I'm along Skyway. These are some homes along Skyway and Russell, and as you can see, these flames are really just making their way towards this residential area. Unfortunately, quickly spreading up the canyon. It looks like on both directions at this time, where we've seen a lot of these helicopters dropping retardant, circling over this area.
Now reporter Laura Eng here on Whitman right now in Chico, where there is a car on fire. Look at that right now. Firefighters are just pulling up to the scene right now, and I just heard an officer say no one is inside, but I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see better what is happening. Once again, a car is on fire here. We are by Whitman here, by Cycle Gear in Chico, by the Chico Enterprise Record here.
Good.
Flames are just coming up right at the mouth of Skyway towards the left-hand side.
Go ahead and say that one more time.
So the flames are going to be on the left-hand side towards going down Skyway. I think they're moving traffic from the right to the left just because it's all blocked up towards the right. So if you could just go left going down towards Chico.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, man.
So you heard that right now. That was a gentleman who had just come out of the area.
It was horrible. I had fire to the left of me and fire to the right. It was fire blowing all over the road. I could hear the embers on the top of the car. I was so afraid that the car was going to go on fire, and my husband's behind me, and I can't get a hold of him. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. It's awful.
I understand. Well, you're here now. You're safe now. It'll be okay.
Okay.
You have a lot of emergency personnel up there. They'll take care of everybody. From what we've heard, they're out there in force. They're making sure that everybody's going to stay as safe as possible, okay? And, you know, we have this 5-lane highway right now getting everybody out. So the emergency plans are working well. It looks like everything's working like it's supposed to. So they're doing as good a job as they can.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Hey, stay safe. Stay safe.
Now take a look at this, some new video that we have of a couple escaping from Paradise earlier today. Let's listen in their firsthand account of what it was like driving through the inferno.
In it. We're in it. We're driving through it.
Here comes a fire truck.
We're trying to get out, you guys. We're in it. The fire's right here on both sides of us. I think we're getting out of it. Oh my God. I think we're right at the edge of it. Oh my God.
Now we can see light.
Holy. But the traffic's moving really slowly. Oh my God.
Those driving face dangerous conditions today behind them and heavy traffic ahead of them. Paradise has been under mandatory evacuation orders since 9 o'clock this morning. And take a look at this video posted by Brian Parrott Chatfield. This video is on the Facebook page and said she feels, quote, very vulnerable posting this and that her hometown of Paradise is on fire. She said her family is evacuated and safe. You can actually see at the end of the video daylight coming through the thick smoke as we just keep watching here. I mean, my goodness. There's the Paradise sign. There's the Paradise sign. And look at the fire burning on the roadside there. So many people drove this very route today and saw these very things, and we can only hope and pray tonight that everyone is safe. Watching Action News Now coverage of the Camp Fire. The fire has now grown to 20,000 acres. CAL FIRE officials say the fire has burned a significant number of structures. It's injured 3 firefighters and several civilians. The 3 firefighters suffered burn injuries. We still, at this hour at 7:32, do not know the specifics on their condition. A fire captain, John Gaddy, said he was aware of 4 or 5 injuries, but no deaths at this point. Evacuation orders now extend to the city limit of Chico. but not the city. A police officer from Chico who helped residents escape says Paradise has been devastated. He says that he saw offices, stores, and restaurants leveled or burning.
Now, Megan Wallace has just returned, our morning anchor, from the Pulga area where the fire was burning. What did you see?
It's really crazy. You know, you go up to that area and it's a pretty remote area, and all of a sudden you just saw this huge plume of smoke, and it was just so dark. The wind is really strong up there right now. I got up to one lookout point, and that was where a lot of the community was kind of congregated. A lot of them told me they were worried about going further down because they didn't want to get stuck out of their neighborhoods. And I spoke to 2 or 3 different people in their pajamas who said that they were pretty sure that their homes were gone. They said that they woke up seeing the smoke and seeing flames nearby, and they didn't have time to really grab anything.
We've been talking about how the winds have had played an integral part in how this fire spread so quickly. Right now, 7,000 acres, Megan. When you were up there, could you feel those gusts of winds? We've had gusts up to 55 miles an hour. Could you feel that?
Yes, you could definitely feel the gusts of wind. You could also see it. So where I was really mainly located was right on this lookout point, right off of Highway 70 on the way up to Pulga, and you could see actually the wind barreling into that smoke. So it was really fueling the fire.
Now, I'm very, very close to the front lines. I'm going to step behind the camera and show you all of the visuals from this area. So at this point, you can see, if I zoom in right here, you can really see the smoke plumes here coming off of very near homes. This is along Neal Road, is where I'm standing right now. This is an area that's long been evacuated, but you can see it's incredibly dark. And incredibly scary images. We just saw a helicopter fly overhead, headed out this direction. I'm going to pan the camera back to my right here, and you can see the glow from this area. In fact, if I go far enough and zoom in right here, this is where I've actually seen some flames come up across the treetops. You can see that ominous red glow there, and the smoke really moving in this area here.
I know my house is gone.
How do you feel right now? What's going through your mind?
Not good, not good. Everything I've worked for is done.
Were you able to grab any of your belongings?
No, we didn't even have time. We had to chase down the cats, and we got the animals, and that was it. Clothes on my back, and my wife, she's in her pajamas still, so.
Well, this is brand new video just into Action News now. Let's just take a look. The Camp Fire has ripped through the town of Paradise, just showing no mercy. This is California Distinguished School as the fire burned down. The town itself looks like something out of a movie. I mean, just charred remains of businesses. I know I saw on Facebook someone posted that the Bear Diner, the Black Bear Diner, was down. Butte County says it has ordered all 27,000 people of Paradise to evacuate the city. Now, the fire's been burning since 6:30 this morning, as Alan mentioned, and destroyed more than 18,000 acres. We do not have an estimate of how many structures and how many homes is part of that acreage.
Get us up to speed on everything.
Okay, right now, the latest reports we have is the fire is approximately 8,000 acres.
Okay.
It moved from the Concow into the town of Paradise. The whole town of Paradise is under evacuation. We're asking residents, this is a very dangerous fire. Please heed those warnings. As you can see, I think a lot of them are. Just listen to what the sheriff is saying. Follow the directional routes out of the town.
No, we've been keeping people up to speed about in terms of what areas are under an evacuation. Of course, when we head into town, everyone's asking us.
Right.
I mean, what do we know about what's going on in Paradise? Is there any way of knowing what areas have been hit yet and what areas might have been passed over?
No, it's hard to say. This fire started approximately 6:40 in the morning. It moved very, very quickly with the canyon winds that came down the Feather River Canyon. It took it right through Concow, right into the town of Paradise. It's kind of fanned out a little bit. It's creating its own weather. The fire is moving in several different directions, and right now our biggest concern is life.
Okay. Do we have any updates at all from the Feather River Hospital? I know that people who work there were sharing photos of it right on the edge.
I do not know. This is our what we've trained for, what we've been afraid of. I've worked here over 20 plus years in Butte County. People who've worked before me, we've always been afraid that a fire is going to impact the town, and unfortunately it seems to be the case this time.
No, we don't have any sense of containment at this time.
No, right now I said our priority is getting people out, protecting people, sheltering people in place. I know several temporary refuge areas have been set up in the town just because we cannot get people out in time because of how this fire is moving at a critical rate of spread right now.
I've heard that as well, that some firefighters were just helping people rather than to get out, to just shelter in place.
Yes, I mean, that's kind of a last resort. If we can't get them out, like you see the people getting out right now, that we will shelter them in place.
Where does your story begin today with the campfire?
Well, what happened was, we didn't even know it was campfire because it's new to us. We looked out our bedroom window this morning when we were getting up, and there was a fire already started right outside our bedroom window. And I thought, well, that's a freaky thing. Went out there and put it out, and then everything was going everywhere. So we decided to go ahead and hang out there. A lot of our neighbors wanted to stay. We kind of convinced them not to. We started to put out the fire as best we could. We had plenty of hoses. I'm a Boy Scout. I wanted to be prepared, so I've always had lots of hoses around. And we also use a Roundup to kill the local weeds and stuff. So we had a defendable space. That was very important because we had a flash fire go through, and right where we had stopped spraying with Roundup and hadn't killed the weeds, it all flared up and it was taking houses out with it.
Yes,
And
definitely.
so how is your home right now?
Right now we left it intact, but we ran out of water, PID, eventually, probably because of all the houses that are burning down, no longer could provide any water at all. We had no power, so I had a pump that I was going to put in our swimming pool to help take out the water, but no power, no water. So we finally had to make the decision for our safety to leave.
Yes.
Ron, did you take any sort of personal belongings too that mattered at all? Did you take anything with you?
Yes, we had a go bag already set up.
Yes,
Lori was had that all set, so we were pretty ready to go. We did take a couple other things.
Yes, and we have our pets with us, of course, and some family pictures.
Yes.
I can't help but notice both your physical conditions here. Your eyes are all bloodshot. Why is that the case?
We have been doing nothing but fighting the fire.
Yes.
From the moment we got outside, I didn't even know it was 7 o'clock at night. The smoke had covered us over all day long. I thought it was still during the daylight, and all of a sudden I look up and it's 7 o'clock. We'd been doing it since 8 o'clock in the morning, and I never even realized what we were just trying to put out fires.
Yeah, we were putting out spot fires. I know 2 of them at least would have taken the neighbor lady's house.
Yes, actually, she put out a fire that was right underneath the eaves, and if she hadn't put that out, that house would have been gone.
Yes.
I'm along Highway 99 at Neal Road, where as you can see behind me as I step aside, several engines are along Highway 99 and making sure that this area is safe. I'm going to go ahead and pan the camera to my left right now, where you can see a lot of flames cropping up here in this kind of ribbon. Now, these flames are not hundreds of feet high. They are not, what people would consider as incredibly scary, but you could see how fast they are moving in our direction. And this ribbon of flames is definitely causing concern for all of these firefighters in this area. Now, if I go ahead and pan the camera back towards Highway 99, you can see that there are spot fires all along this area and burning, at different rates and different speeds. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in over here where you can actually see the fire personnel along the side of Highway 99 taking off right now and going a little bit further north. We're not sure if there's something, happening a little bit further north at this point, but we are watching the flames as they come near. In fact, I'm going to pan the camera back one more time. As I said, this area over here is very fast moving, and just in the past couple of minutes, you can see that this really has cropped up quite a bit. And I can actually feel, even though this is several hundred feet away, I can actually feel the heat coming off of these flames from this distance. And you could definitely see how fast these flames can move, especially if they hit dry brush And at a moment's notice, you know, firefighters will try to get in there and stop what they can. We're also seeing several bulldozers in the area, but you can be rest assured that there are a lot of law enforcement personnel on scene, on hand, making sure all of this is taken care of. Of course, we're going to bring you the latest information from the front lines, but at this point, a lot of officials, a lot of fire officials as well as law enforcement officials watching out for all areas around this fire and making sure that everyone on the ground and at home stays safe. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and toss it back to you in studio.